I figured it out on my own. I ain't had no OG. I ain't had nobody come and show me. Feeling one of one, I know that they can't clone me. On everything, I did this on my lonely. On everything.
Hey y'all. I got my theme music on. They got me fucked up. But I'm taking out trash on your ass, and I get rid of bad friends like a dump truck. Hey, good morning. Hey y'all. Still down to earth, never stuck up. Hey y'all. Happy Thursday or whatever. I just came on here to encourage y'all, but my song is on. Hey y'all, good morning. Thanks for coming in here to hang out with me. Hey. I'm hungry. I'm making tea and I'm cooking. Hey y'all. Grand Rising. Happy Thursday, you guys. What y'all getting into? Good morning. Good morning. Hey you guys. So I'm washing these dishes and jamming to my song. Y'all know that listening to music is a great way to raise your vibrations, to get you in a good mood. Hey, boos! Heart me up or whatever. And if you like what I got to say, share the video. Y'all know I'm going to come on here with something positive. I just want to encourage you guys today. Hey! Hey everybody! I see my fam on here. I see fam on here. Zion's mom. I see fam on here. Hey you guys, good morning. It's your birthday. Alright, so it's Terrence's birthday. Shout out. Hey Cassandra. Hey you guys. I'm gonna try to undo this wave thing. Hey y'all. Hey y'all, so happy birthday, Terrence. Happy born day. What you getting into? Tell me about your birthday plans or whatever. Born Intelligent. Hey boo. So Born Intelligent is working. I'm cooking. I'm hungry. Well, you know I like to turn it up a little bit. And here go my cousin. Hey, Cuddy. I got a Cuddy and a cousin. So let me tell y'all. Yes, Terrence, happy 49th birthday. Shout out to my cousin, who I call Cuddy. Yes, Wendy, you goddamn tease you. Good morning. Good freaking morning, you guys. Hey, boos. Thanks for coming on here to hang out with me. Hey. Wendy, you owe me a goddamn visit. You owe me a visit and some Elvis. Hey, everybody. Heart me up or whatever. You in Atlantic City. Take me with you. I haven't been to AC in like over a month. I need to go back. That's like one of my favorite places. Hey, thank you. Thank you. So Terrence's birthday is today. He in AC celebrating or whatever. That's right. You gambling? You going to the casinos or you just going to be out on the beach? Wendy. Hey, boo. Hey, you guys. So I just came on here to encourage you guys. What I want to encourage y'all about? What y'all need encouragement about? Y'all want to talk to me? Talk to me nice, though. Let's talk about them people that don't know how to talk to you nice. Talk to me nice. Right? Shit. We not fucking with people that don't know how to talk to us nice. Banana pudding, yes, I'll take it. We not dealing with nobody that don't know how to talk to us nice, right? Talk to me nice. Hey, y'all. Happy Thursday. Thanks for coming in here and hanging out with me. I'm cooking. Can I get a visit with some teddy? What you mean with some teddy? We ain't doing the teddy bear syndrome. The teddy bear syndrome is when people want us to be, we're in a relationship, right? And the person wants us to be their teddy bear, right? We're their emotional support, but they're not. Oh, hey Mel Gana. They want us to be their emotional support. Y'all better heart me up or whatever. Loving on me on a Thursday. I will take it, all of it. Thank you, guys. Good morning, beautiful. Yes. You going to the casino? Yo, I only spend a little bit of time in the casino because I hate losing my money. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the hearts or whatever. So, teddy bear syndrome, right? We don't want to be in no teddy bear syndrome situation. Teddy bear syndrome means you're in a relationship with somebody, right? And hey, Mr. Brown, you're in a relationship with somebody and they want you to be their emotional support, right? But they're not your emotional support, right? They want you to be the teddy bear. They want you to be available whenever they want you to be available. And they say things like, oh, this relationship would be perfect if you just weren't so emotional, right? They try to deny our reality. Teddy bear syndrome, right? I'm supposed to be everything, but you want to put me in a box of how it is that you want me to behave. Teddy bear syndrome. You want to love on me, you want to cuddle me whenever times is good, and then whenever you are not feeling good, you want to take out your anger and your frustration on me and rip my limbs apart. Teddy bear syndrome. We ain't got time for that shit in the 2020, right? I can't get with it. I just can't do it. So I came on here to encourage you guys to require the best from your relationships, okay? Show up as your very best. So what do? I always make us accountable first, right? So we are accountable. Show up as your very best, right? In your relationships. And then we're going to require the very best from our partners, right? So my post said, that means he does what it takes to make her happy, and it should be his first try. Yes, he does what it takes to make her happy, right? And she do what it takes to make him happy, right? It's a give and take or whatever. It's a give and take. That's the beauty of love. Give and take. But you know what? Some of us have a problem with the give and take. Why? Because we got childhood issues. So we can segue into what my status talked about. We talked about childhood trauma, right? And this is kind of a heavy subject, but it's something that a lot of us deal with in the black community. But yeah, this is chestnut checkers. Something that we deal with in the black community that we don't always, we kind of keep it a secret, right? Because in the black community, we say, whatever happens in this house stays in this house, right? That's the black community. And a lot of times we have experienced trauma, whether it's sexual trauma, sexual abuse, or we've experienced trauma, whether it's the trauma of having to witness abuse, right? We don't want to talk about it, but it happened, right? So I want to encourage you guys to get the help that you need so you can be your best self, right? Because the things that happen in our childhood, thank you for the heart. Thanks for everybody who came in here to hang out with me, right? I am always giving a message about abundance, right? Because we want to live an abundant life. So I come on here with tricks and tips and shit, yeah, right? To tell you how you can live your very best life, how you can vibrate at the highest vibration by doing something as simple as taking a walk outside in the sun, right? That helps. Listening to music. If you realize you may be in a bad up mood, listen to music, but good music. Music that's going to put you in a good mood. Not something that's going to make you mad, right? So we're talking about that because we want to live our very best life, right? So then we talked about also, too, we were saying how we don't want to deal with people who are not there for us emotionally in our relationships, right? That's a form of a toxic relationship. Teddy bear syndrome is going on in a relationship, right? You can be there for them emotionally, but they're not there for you emotionally. We don't have time for that. We're not doing that in the 2020, right? But we're also understanding that people have gone through traumas in their childhood and in their lives, and that has shaped how people are and how they show up in their relationships, right? It affects the attachment styles, because we talked about attachment styles and how whenever you're a child, what it is that you experience. Thank you guys for the hearts. What it is that you experience shapes who you are as an adult, right? So some of us, we don't want to talk about it, right? Hey, you guys, thanks for coming and hanging out with me. Everybody that's coming in here. We talking about living our most abundant life, right? And I came on here to encourage you guys because I want us to start doing what we need to do to get to a better place, right? I want us to start going to treatment, right? We don't want to go to therapy, right? We don't want to talk about that in the black community, but we need to do it, guys. We need to deal with our childhood traumas, the things that happened to us when we were young. Thank you. The things that happened to us when we were young, right? The abuse that happened. The abuse that happened, right? The abuse that happened that we never talked about. We didn't talk about it, guys. But it's showing up. It's showing up. It's showing up in our adulthood. It's showing up in our relationships, right? So I'm coming on here. I'm going to encourage you guys. You better heart me up or whatever. Let me know you hear what I got to say. So I want to encourage you guys. Hey, everybody just coming in the room. Come on in the room. So I'm encouraging us that we're dealing with the things that happened to us in our past, right? The things that they said it happened in this house, so it stay in this house, right? Those things that we wasn't able to talk about, those things that happened to us whenever we were a little person, and it should have never happened, right? We're talking about it today. It's heavy, but we talking about it, right? Because we can get past it. We can get past it, but it's showing up in our relationships. Thank you. Good morning. It's showing up in our relationship, you guys. We're still hurting, you guys. We're still hurting, and we need to deal with the hurt, right? So that we don't hurt other people, because hurting people hurt others, right? So I want to encourage you guys. We got to deal with our shit. We got to deal with our shit, guys. There's a wealth of information out there. YouTube, Google, support groups, people like me or whatever. If you like what I got to say, share the video. Because we don't like talking about mental health in the black community, but we need to talk about it because we need to deal with the stuff that we've been through so we can show up as our best selves. We're not dealing with the shit so it can make us feel bad, but if we don't deal with it, we don't realize that every day we're walking around with self-blame, right? We're dealing with anxiety. We're dealing with depression. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for the hearts. So we're walking around, we're dealing with depression, anxiety, right? Panic attacks, right? Good morning. Men just seem to be real protective of women. Yeah, they are. But guess what? In their distorted state, they're not protective of us, right? If you didn't have a good example, you may not be as protective as you need to be, right? Because you didn't see it. What if you may have grew up in a home where women got beat up, women got demeaned. So that's what you do, right? So we're hurting our partners in the process, though, right? We're meeting good people and we're hurting them because we're hurting. So I just want to encourage us. We got to deal with our shit, you guys, so we can love each other the right way. It's a lot of good people out here, right? It's a lot of good people, and we're getting in relationships and we're getting hurt by those that we're in relationships with because hurting people hurt others. Thank you for the compliment. Hurting people hurt others, right? So I just want to encourage us. We need to do what we need to do so that we can feel better and do better, right? Because it happened. It happened. It's fucked up. But it happened, and we got to deal with it. And some of us, we need to talk about it because they told us we couldn't talk about it, right? They told us what happened in this house stays in this house, but they did not protect us like they should have. We was little people, and they did not protect us like they should have. So guess what? We got to talk about it. We got to release it. We got to let it go, because if not, we're dealing with depression. We're dealing with anxiety. And these are things that we're not talking about. We're not sleeping at night. We're having panic attacks, right? We're sabotaging our relationships because when we get in a relationship, we get close and then we're self-sabotaging, right? We're not talking to ourselves in the best way. We're using stinking thinking, right? So we got to do better. How do we do better? We seek treatment. Good morning. No, I watch my mom have a hard time at home. I protect my sisters in every way. Yeah, and you know what? That's great. So I became a natural protector. Right, exactly. And the thing is, like, some of us, it goes in a bad way, right? So we see something negative and we turn around and we become what we see. And then others of us, we're like, yo, I do not ever want to be like that. I'll never do women like that. And we grow up and we're something different. And that is great. That's the strong. Those are the strong ones. Those are the empaths. Those are us. Those are us. Good morning. Hey, everybody. Because when we're little, I read this book and it talked about it's all different types of children that are birthed out of traumatic homes. So some of us were like the parent to our parent. And some of us were the kid that was, what they call it? They call it the quicker picker-upper. So that kid was responsible for taking on the emotional baggage of an adult, but you were a child, right? I'm that kid. So the way that shows up in my relationships is I end up with people who have these mental health issues and I keep making excuses for them. And I'm in a relationship with them and I'm not happy, but I have this predisposition that like, oh, if you have an issue, then I have to stay here and deal with it, right? And then we have another kid is the poker face kid. That's the kid that like, if you show any emotion, it was it for you. So those are the people that tend to be very stoic. I don't show my emotions because when I was little, I was taught that emotions was bad. If I showed my emotions, then I got in trouble. So now I'm very stoic. So that shows up in my relationships. And that affects our relationships, right? Heck yeah. Because when you're in your relationships, like you need to give and take, right? You need to be able to give emotion and receive emotion. But some of us that were stunted and we had these traumatic childhoods, like we're really struggling with that, right? We're really struggling with that and we are hurting in the process. What's another kid? The old soul. That was the kid that was responsible to be taking on all these responsibilities and the adults in their lives dealt with them as if they were adults, so they grew up way beyond their years. Yeah, you got another kid. I always seem to date this kid. This particular kid is what is it called? I can't remember what it's called, but basically, like, because you grew up in a home that was traumatic and it was a lot of abuse, like, you're always surveillancing the scene. Like, you're always, like, checking the perimeter to see what's going on. So in your relationships, you're very hyper vigilant. Like, emotionally, you're just always very in tune to your partner, to any changes. But normally, you're expecting something bad to happen, right? So, you know, that affects your relationships too, because you become hyper vigilant and sometimes you deal in your relationships. Thank you guys for the hearts. I appreciate it. So we're dealing in our relationships and we're dealing way too harshly with our partners, right? So guys, we got to deal with that stuff because it has affected us. It has affected us. And we have to figure out who it is that we are, right? What kid are you? I'm the quicker picker-upper kid. It's about 8 or 9 of them. But guys, it happened, okay? So that the trauma happened, it happened. So now we just got to get better. We got to get beyond it. And please know that if something traumatic happened to you in your childhood, it is showing up in your adulthood. And it's okay, right? We're going to be kind to ourselves, but we're going to do something about it, right? So let me see if I got some comments. Woo! What you talk about, Alfred? I don't want to miss anything anybody said. He watched his mom. So Alfred said he watched his mom, so he turned out differently. In the 80s, I became a savage, just finding my little peace. Yeah, I think, didn't we all have that moment in our lives that we was just savage? Some of us longer than others. Just savage. Just a goon, right? Right? It's hard to let go of pain, but healthy. Yeah, we have to let go of the pain. And like a lot of letting go of the pain, it starts with our internal dialogue. Like, what are we telling ourselves? You know what I mean? Because like we were young, we were growing up, like people ain't always talk right to us, right? They ain't talk nice to us. They filled us with more negative things than positive things. So now as adults, we're kind of like struggling with those negative thought patterns. And, it affects our relationships because it affects us. So we got to get to the root of it. So I'm going to encourage you guys to reach out and get the help that you need. Vanessa! Hey, Cuddy. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for who came on here. You had the old soul, Alfred. Hey, everybody. So I just want to encourage us to mind our mental health, right? Mind our thoughts. Implement positive things into your life. Positive self-love. We talked about self-love earlier this week. So, eating good, exercising, being intentional, taking bubble baths, being intentional about caring for yourself, right? Being around positive people that are encouraging to you, who spark your creative spark. We realize that as we go through lives, our circles get smaller, right? Our circles get smaller, but I feel as though God, He connects us. Hey, my booski boo! I feel like our circles are getting smaller, but God is definitely blessing us with quality people. Hey! So, Missy, we were talking about dealing with childhood trauma. We talked about the types of children that come out of traumatic homes, because there's different types of children depending on what the trauma was you were dealing with. And I'm encouraging everybody to seek help and seek treatment. Depend on your friends that you are trustworthy, right? Alfred said build a safe space. So we want to build a safe space, like safe social groups, right? People that we know that we can trust with our heart, our feelings, our emotions. We want to sit down and we want to talk to professionals, because we talked about the fact that some things have happened in our childhood. And hey, in the Black community, we don't talk about it, right? Whatever happens in this house stays in this house, right? So some of us, some things have happened to us and we haven't even been able to talk about it. And it comes out in us as adults. We struggle with depression, anxiety, panic attacks, sleep disorders, physical health disorders. And these are things that we're not talking about it. We are not talking about it. We are suffering. We are suffering in silence. So I just want to encourage you guys to mind your mental health. I love you guys. I love you guys. I want the best for you guys. We want to live an abundant life. So that's why we want to mind our mental health so that we can be healthy. We want to focus on what we're thinking. We want to think about, what am I thinking about? We want to think about what we're thinking. We want to think about what we're thinking. What are we telling ourselves? Are we feeding ourselves self-fulfilling prophecies of negative things that's happened in the past? A lot of times we are, until we start getting more mindful of it and start getting more intentional. So, we want to start with like positive self-dialogue. We want to go to therapy. We want to Google. There's lots of resources out there. There's resources just for men. There's resources just for women, depending on, where it is that you live. So I want to encourage you guys, read. Like, in your quiet time, nobody knows what you're reading. Nobody knows what you're Googling. Do what it is that you need to do. Like, read up on stuff. Get better. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I really got for you guys. So share the video if you like what it is that I have to say. Yeah, you do have to forgive yourself first. Yep, you got to forgive yourself first. You got to talk kind to yourself, right? Because we all have an inner child. Because normally, another thing I wanted to point out. Normally, like, we were stunted. Like, if something happened to us traumatic, like, we have a little inner child. I believe in, like, a type of treatment. It's called inner child. and you have a child, you got a little person in there. He might be 6 years old, 4 years old, 3 years old. Whenever that trauma happened, like, there's a part of us that's stunted. And it's the inner child that is emotional. It's the inner child that is so sensitive. It's the inner child that needs attention, right? We got ourselves kindly. We got to deal with our inner child and be like, you know what, girl? It's going to be okay. And when we start listening to our inner voice, right, and catering to that little person in there, we start getting better. Because another point I wanted to make to you guys is I wanted to talk about toxic energy signatures, right? Toxic energy signatures. So we talking about how Tiara, hey Titty Bum. Hi my love. So we talking about, for those of y'all who just came in, so we are talking about I'm encouraging us as an African American community to mind our mental health, right? We're talking about childhood traumas and how that has shaped us into different types of individuals, right? According to those of us have dealt with a lot of us have dealt with severe trauma. Some of us, maybe not so much, right? But we've all been shaped in that trauma, and it shows up in our adulthood, right? So I am encouraging everybody. We're going to mind our mental health, and we're going to mind our thoughts, right? We're going to think about what we're thinking, right? So thinking about what we're thinking, we want to be intentional with our thought process. We want to be intentional with our thoughts, right? What's our inner dialogue? Like, what are we saying to each other? Are we being kind to each other? Or are we speaking to ourselves as if they did when we were young, right? When they told us that we weren't worthy, when they told us we didn't have a voice, when they told us that our emotions didn't matter, or they made it feel like our emotions didn't matter. Back when we was dealing with stuff and we was a little people, and we was dealing with stuff that we shouldn't have had to deal with, right? Stuff happened, they told us we had to keep it a secret. What happens in this house stays in this house. Trauma, right? So we got to deal with that because it's coming out in our anxiety, our depression. We're not talking about it, but it's happening. We're not sleeping. We're not eating, right? Right? And then we showing up in our relationships and we're not showing up healthy in our relationships. So hurting people and we're hurting others, and everybody wants love and everybody deserves love. So I'm encouraging everybody to mind their mental health. And my last point that I wanted to make, I was talking about toxic energy. They want to stop looking for trouble in relationships. They won't find trouble. And you know what? That goes for everybody, because basically you sound like women when they say, I don't care. I'm not sure what you mean, Alfred, but basically my theology is we're all going to take responsibility for ourselves in a relationship, right? We're not going to blame. So one thing about me is that you're never going to hear me say men always do this and women always do this. We're not doing that, right? Because here we take responsibility for our part. And when we find ourselves in situations that don't serve us, then we move out of those situations, right? We take responsibility for what it is that we need to work on. Like, what about this person is triggering me? Why are they triggering me? Why isn't this working? We want to ask ourselves those things. Yes, Missy, children are to be seen and not heard. Heck yeah. And I kind of came up with that. I kind of felt like that with my kids. Kids is to be seen and not heard. Sit your behind down. If you don't sit down and shush it. Now I don't have to go through that because my baby's is grown. But yeah, kids are to be seen and not heard. Heck yeah. I know I had a little bit of that in me. It wore off when my kids became teenagers, was what I was told. So when I needed to speak, what was in my heart, blocked throat chakra. Blocked throat chakra. Blocked throat chakra means I can't speak what it is that I want. I can't speak my feelings. I can't speak my emotions, right? So there's a meditation for that. So yeah, so with our chakras, we have 7 chakras in our bodies, right? So when our chakras are unblocked, then we are flowing freely. So when we have a blocked throat chakra, it makes it hard for us to be able to communicate our feelings and our needs. It even makes it hard for us to be able to write. So yeah, there is a meditation for that. So Missy said she was raised being told kids are to be seen and not heard. Speak when you're spoken to. So when she got ready to speak her heart, she could not, right? So that may be an issue that we're running into in our relationships, right? But you don't find out you have those issues sometimes until you become an adult. Heck yeah! We finding out right now, right? In our 40s, right? So I tried to talk to my kids about them. I'm like, yo, I'm going to put y'all ahead of the game because I'm a little behind the 8 ball with all this, right? Just learning shit at 44. What else I got to say? Hey, everybody. Yeah, kids are your responsibility and your first priority, but how many parents, like we want to keep it real on today, how many parents didn't raise their children or are not raising their children as their first priority? A lot of parents. I see it. I work with kids in the mental health field. A lot of these parents, their children are not their first priority, sad to say. And that could be, and we don't shade anybody here, right? Because we understand that people do what it is that they do. They do the best that they can with what they got, right? So maybe that particular parent doesn't have the tools that they need to be the parent that they need to be. Nonetheless, children are being affected. So I'm a big proponent that the children are the future. So wherever it is that they go, whether it's school, whether it's extracurricular activities, whether it's church, people should be taking care of the kids, right? Because some children don't have the very best home life. But if when they see you, they know they can get a hug and an encouraging word or something like that, it makes a difference. Like, how many people are better now because of the other people? Thank you for the hearts. How many people are better now because of other people who stepped in to like help their lives? Because they didn't have, they didn't have everything that they needed, right? Hey, you guys. Hey, Mr. Haskins. Is it Hoskins? Hey, you guys. So we are talking about mental health in the Black community. Mental health in the Black community. And the need for us to get mental health. And the need for us to deal with our childhood traumas. Because they show up in our adulthood and they show up in our relationships. Good morning. And they affect our relationships. And we all deserve love, right? So we don't want to be walking around hurting people. So in order for us to not hurt people, hurting people hurt others. So in order for us to not hurt people, we have to be at our healthiest state, right? And our healthiest state, I'm giving y'all the bullet points. Our healthiest state is a state of abundance, right? So we want to be living in abundance. And a good way to live in abundance is to mind your thoughts, right? You want to be thinking about what you're thinking. And you want to be thinking forward moving. And you want to be thinking about creating a new future for yourself, right? Something new that you may not have seen. So you're going to have to tap into your imagination, right? Because we can't wait until we actually get it in order to have the feeling. We got to have the feeling beforehand. We got to put that vibration out into the universe so that it can go and capture what it is that we want, right? Well, I love you guys so much or whatever. And it has been super duper fantastic hanging out with you guys today. So I will see you guys tomorrow. For me Friday or whatever. Anybody else got anything? I want to thank you guys for coming on here to hang out with me. It means so much to me. I am humble every day. To know that he said it's easy to be happy. Some may argue that fact, right? It's easy to be I got it. It's easy to be happy whenever you have the tools, right? It's easy to be happy when you have the right tools. And we don't all have the right tools, right? But it's okay. Because we can get them, right? Hey, everybody. Make sure you watch the replay or whatever. Show me some love. Share the video. We know that we need to be more mindful of our mental health in the African American community. So share the video. And I love you guys so very, very much. I love you too, Booski Boo. I love you guys so very, very much. I am about to go cook. Because the sister is hungry or whatever. So you guys enjoy your day. Okay? And I will see you wonderful, beautiful, blessed, and gifted people on tomorrow for the TGIF edition. All right? Peace.
Joseph, pick up the phone. Exceedus, where you at?
Is that Vanessa on the line? See you in LA, you been MIA. Baby, you been dog, tell me where you stay. Just like I remember, such a pretty face.